This is problem 8-149 from section 8.3.2. Rewrite each of the following division problems as a single complex number. So we saw in the previous homework assignment that you should multiply by the conjugate on both the numerator and the denominator in order to make the denominator go away. So I'm going to multiply by the conjugate of the denominator, but on both things. So the conjugate of the denominator, which means the opposite I value, instead of -3, it'll be +3. I'm going to do that on the top and the bottom. So you're going to multiply by the same thing on the top and the bottom. Okay? So if I multiply by the conjugate on the bottom, we're going to see that the first terms multiplied together get me 5. The last terms multiplied get me -9i squared, and the other terms would drop out. Okay? Oops, I probably should have written that somewhere else. Let's erase that. So I can leave room for my numerator. So 25 minus 9i squared on the denominator. If I multiply the numerators together, I'm not going to have things cancel out. So I have 25. My inner terms multiplied together, my inside things right here would be positive 15i. The outsides would be positive 15i. And the last terms would be plus 9i squared. Okay. So now I'm going to simplify these and combine my like terms, get rid of any I squared that I have. So I have 25 plus really 30i, and I really have minus 9. I squared is a negative number. Okay? Divided by 25 minus 9, well, since I squared is a negative number, this is really going to become a plus. Okay? So if I simplify this a little bit further, I'm going to end up having 16 plus 30i divided, 30, divided by 34. Okay? We also learned we want to simplify this a little bit more to break it down into two little fractions. So I have 16 over 34 plus 30i over 34. And I can simplify both of these fractions a little bit more to have them be smaller, and I can have it be 8/17 if I divide that fraction both by 2, plus 15i over 17, which is also dividing that by 2. So here would be my solution for part A. Always writing it in two separate fractions, but making sure we don't have any i's on the denominator. That's what we're trying to get rid of. Alright, so for the second one, I'm going to multiply again by the conjugate of the denominator. So the conjugate would be 1 plus I. 1 plus I. I'm going to multiply by those. The denominator is going to be the easier one because things are going to cancel out. So I'm going to have a 1 times 1 is a 1, and I have negative I squared. The middle terms would cancel out. The top thing is multiplied. Give me 7 plus 3i plus 7i plus 3i squared. Okay. So then let's combine some things together. I have 7 plus 10i, and I really have a minus 3. I squared is really a negative 1, divided by 1 plus 1. Because I squared is worth negative 1. Simplify a little further. I'm going to have 4 plus 10i on the top, 10 divided by 2. Break it down into two fractions. 4 over 2 plus 10i divided by 2. I can simplify those to just be 2 plus 5i. Okay. So make sure you're simplifying it into two separate little fractions, and if that reduces to be regular numbers, then that's great. But multiply by the denominator's conjugate for both things, for the times that on the numerator and the denominator, because you need to really multiply. This is really multiplying by 1. So what you multiply has to be the same on the top and the bottom. Okay, but to get rid of the denominator, I multiply by the conjugate of the denominator.